Hey BookTube, Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to do my very tiny May TBR. A bulk of these are ones that are actually bleeding over from April, and then I am just kind of leaving the rest of May open to whatever. I feel like I got so kind of slumpy and awkward and kind of off my game in April after I finished A Little Life that I am just going to go wherever the wind blows me. There is one readathon in May that I will be participating in, and this is the Book Buddy-a-thon, and it is hosted by Elena, and I will link her channel down below. It is basically where you pick a book to buddy, and you meet a certain kind of number of challenges, things like read a book that starts with the same letter as your buddy's name, or read your buddy's favorite book, or give your buddy options and let them pick a book for you, those kinds of things. And I will be participating with Brittany from Under the Radar Books, who you guys, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, will know is one of my very best bookish BFFs, and I will link her channel. She's absolutely wonderful, and I'm super excited to see what that readathon turns up in terms of what books get chosen. Other than that, the Sassy Reads read along that I mentioned in my last video, which is hosted by Elizabeth and I, Elizabeth from Books and Pieces, where we are basically taking the piss out of a piece of Victorian literature. This month we are doing The Great God Pan. Please follow us on Twitter. There will be snark and probably cursing, some sex puns, lots of gifs. That's usually most of what Sassy Reads is sex puns and gifts, but I am still so excited. So The Great God Pan is definitely also on my TBR. Otherwise, I only have a couple of things, and then it will just be up to whatever the mood strikes me as. So those couple of things are, the first one is Asking for It. By the time this goes up, I will probably already be done with this because I only have about 100 pages left. This is a book that will be going up on my Sexy Saturdays series, which is something I also mentioned in my last video. This is a piece of erotica that deals with an incredibly dark but incredibly common fantasy, and that is rape fantasy, and how we deal with that, how we reconcile something that's so objectively horrible for so many people, but also still remains in that realm of fantasy. There are really good discussions about consent and safety and the lines between reality and fantasy and how we approach those. Obviously, there are definite trigger warnings for rape in this book, and if that sounds like something that's not your jam, then I would definitely recommend not picking this up. The writing is good. The writing's about a 3-star, but it brings up a lot of conversations that I feel we don't really have a lot. So at this point, I'm actually sitting at closer to like a 4, maybe even a 4.5 star. But you'll probably be hearing more about this in an upcoming Sexy Saturdays video, so stay tuned. And then after that, we have 2 books that I am buddy reading. The first one I'm reading with Caitlin at Kitty G, and that is Arena by Holly Jennings. As you can see, I've also already started this one, but I'm not quite as far in as Caitlin is. This is actually was sent to me by the publisher, and it came when I requested a Guy Gavriel Kay novel. You'll have seen me talk about it in my winter publisher haul, but this is actually, it's much more entertaining than I originally thought it would be. Essentially what it is the Arena is an online gladiatorial team combat zone. So if you've ever played World of Warcraft or Guild Wars, it's very similar to like the battlegrounds and the raid scenes that you participate in those games. And the first ever female leader, Callie Ling, has been appointed to her team. She will be the first ever female captain in the Arena. And so it is about gender and video games and game culture and all of those things wrapped up together. I really am enjoying it because it feels very realistic. In the first 50 pages, there's swearing, there's some casual drug use, there's some casual sex, but it all feels very real to what it's like to be in your late teens and kind of early 20s-ish time, especially if you were involved in that gaming culture. So if that is if any of those words that I just said sound appealing to you, this would definitely be one to check out. It is already published in the States. It came out April 6th of this year. So feel free to go pick it up if you'd like. And I'm really having a good time reading it with Caitlin. Then the next one is one that I'm reading with Caitlin and with Elizabeth. Are you detecting a bit of a theme here for May? And that is Prudence by Gail Carriger. I am going to Worldcon in August, and Gail Carriger will be there, so it is my goal to read everything that she's written by the time that happens, and I've already finished The Parasol Protectorate. So this is the first book in the Custard Protocol series, which is kind of a sequel to and follows a lot of the same characters from The Parasol Protectorate. And then there are also the Finishing School books, Etiquette and Espionage, and other ones that are her young adult novel. But this is the one that I'm reading with Kate and Elizabeth. I just want you guys to look at it. I'm trying to like cut the glare because it is so pretty. It is just so pretty. It's that bright pink. I'm absolutely in love with the look of it. I'm only about 10 pages in, but I'm really, really, really looking forward to getting into it. I just miss Gail Carriger's writing. She's so incredibly witty and so incredibly filthy, but in such a restrained and Victorian manner. Reading her books is like eating a giant bowl of ice cream. So I'm looking forward to getting further into this one and reading it with some of my favorite booktube ladies. And that's it, you guys. That's my TBR for May. Like I said, I'm keeping it super simple. I'm just going to kind of pick up whatever happens to catch my fancy between now and then. There will probably be some graphic novels. I imagine I'll wrap up a couple of audiobooks. I may do an upcoming video on some of the podcasts that I've been obsessed with recently because that seems to be more of where my attention is focused at the moment. But yeah, let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you have plans to read any of these, thoughts, comments. And of course, you can always chat me up on Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads because I'm always here to talk books. All right, I love you all dearly. Have a good day.